Sawadee ka, welcome to Hot Thai Kitchen. So today I'm making beef yellow curry. Yellow beef curry. Yellow curry with beef. So today I'm making a yellow curry beef, which is actually a recipe from my upcoming cookbook that I'm working on, so it's a little sneak peek. So this book is all about weeknight friendly recipes. And if you're thinking, wait a minute, doesn't beef curry take like a couple of hours to stew? Well, with my trick, you can get an authentic Thai beef curry done in less than an hour, no pressure cooking required. All right, let's get started. Let's first talk yellow curry paste. Now, for a weeknight, you can totally just use store-bought. In fact, most Thai people buy their curry paste. But if you want to make it, here's a quick rundown. In a coffee grinder, add dried chilies, coriander seeds, cumin seeds, and white peppercorns and grind into a fine powder. Now, you can grind all this by hand in a mortar and pestle, but it is much faster to do it with a coffee grinder. You can do the next part using an immersion blender or traditionally in a granite mortar and pestle. Add the lemongrass, ginger, galangal, fresh turmeric, and salt, and pound that into a paste. Add the shallots and garlic and curry powder and pound it also into a paste. Add the ground chili mixture, shrimp paste, and pound until well mixed and fine. It's now ready to use, and you can freeze anything you don't need. Let's look at the beef. So for this, I'm using chuck top blade, which has become my new favorite cut for curry because it's not too chewy, so it won't take long to tenderize. And all of this marbling is going to make sure that once it's stewed for a long time, it's going to stay moist and doesn't become dry and chewy. Now, for speed, my trick is to cut this as if you were doing a stir fry into thin slices. Not in chunks like you might be inclined to do for a curry, and this alone will cut down so much cooking time. And chuck is a cut that's quite flavorful, so this is a great mix of flavor and texture. I'm just gonna add all of our beef into a pot and cover it with water, just enough to submerge it. This is just a beef cooking liquid. This isn't our curry yet, and I'll tell you why in a second. I'm gonna add some salt and then just about a tablespoon of our yellow curry paste, just so that it can absorb some of that flavor as well. Now I'm gonna turn this on and bring it to a simmer. By the way, fun fact, yellow curry is a specialty of Thai Muslims. So whenever I'm in Thailand and I'm at a Thai Muslim restaurant, I always make sure to order it because they make the best version. The beef is starting to simmer now, and as you can see, there's a lot of scum on top. Don't worry about it for now, okay? But this is one of the reasons why we cook the beef separately from the curry sauce, is so that the curry sauce maintains a vibrant color and doesn't have all the scum in it. Okay, so I'm gonna let that go for about 20 to 25 minutes until the beef is tender. And yes, that's all it's going to take for this cut, thinly sliced, to become fork tender. While that's going, let's make the curry sauce. Another bonus of doing it separately, we can be multitasking. So in a pot here, I'm going to add a little bit of coconut milk. Just about that much for now. And I'll bring it to a boil. Okay, the coconut milk is boiling now. Time to go in with our curry paste. I'm gonna turn that down a bit. Ooh, calm down. Add in our curry paste, which I painstakingly hand pounded. It doesn't happen every day. This is a special occasion. Now I'm gonna cook that together and let it reduce until it's thick. You wanna be scraping often because it will tend to stick to the bottom, and keep the heat sort of medium-low so that it doesn't burn. You know that it's close when it sounds different. Right now it's starting to sizzle. And our gas has gone off. Intermission. Okay, back in business. As I was saying, when you're close, you can hear that it'll start to sizzle because all of the liquid of the water in the coconut milk has evaporated, and it's basically now frying in the coconut oil, which you can see separating. See all that clear oil? Yeah, that is coconut oil separating from the paste. That's exactly what you want. Don't rush this part, especially if you're making curry paste by hand using all raw herbs. If you rush this part, the curry paste will taste raw. So really give it time Keep the heat sort of low so that it can really cook out all the raw flavor. In Thai, this stage is what we call gati tak man, which means coconut fat has broken. And that's the cue that you're doing something right. I'm quite happy with how the paste looks, how it smells. I'm going to go in now with coconut milk, the rest of it. Ooh. Some seasoning, fish sauce, palm sugar, and some tamarind paste. Just half for now. We'll see how it tastes and we can adjust. Now I'm going to bring this to a boil and really allow the now clumpy curry paste to really dissolve into the liquid, scraping anything that's stuck. So now that that's boiling, I'm going to add my potatoes. Ooh. And you want to use waxy potato, like I'm using nugget potatoes, new potatoes. You don't want starchy russet potatoes because if that gets overcooked, it'll just disintegrate and mush. Okay, so anything you would use for mashed potatoes, not for curry, okay? And also, I'm going to add some onions. Turn the heat down a bit. I'm just gonna let this cook for about 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes. Potatoes are only halfway done, but I'm gonna turn it off now because I wanna finish cooking everything with the beef to allow the beef to really mingle with the sauce. But the beef has a few more minutes on it, so we can just, turn it off, hang out, wait. If you haven't made rice, now's the time to go do it. We'll be back once the beef is ready. Before we move on, I want to take a moment to share with you a very useful tool that will expand your horizons when it comes to cooking with beef. There's so many cuts of beef on the market, right? Which is great. There's something for everyone. But most of us, myself included, probably buy the same handful of cuts again and again. And even though we see all the other options, we don't buy them because we don't really know what to do with them. Well, Canada Beef, our sponsor today, has come up with a brilliant solution. The Canadian Beef Information Gateway is an online resource that will demystify over 70 different cuts of beef. Say you're at a store looking at a package called Bottom Sirloin Flap Steak. No idea what that is. So you pick up your phone and you open the gateway and then you find your cut. Here's everything you need to know. Recommended cooking methods with actual instructions, including timing and temperature, and also useful cooking tips. Steaks cook more evenly when flipped at least twice during grilling. Good to know. Then my favorite part, there are recipes. Yes, recipes that are perfect for this cut, which you can cook directly from or use as a guideline for creating something unique, and every recipe comes with video instructions. So the next time you see a cut of beef on special, go ahead and buy it and let the Gateway help you with all the details. You can scan this QR code right here or click the link in the description below and get ready to have fun in the kitchen. Okay, so the beef is done. You want to make sure that it is fork tender simply by forking it. Boop! And if it goes through easily, you are done. Now this clear part, this chuck top blade has a little bit of tendon that runs through the piece of meat. That will tenderize right through, so it's not a problem. You don't have to cut it away, and it will also add body to this broth as well. Now the beef gets fished out. See, this was so quick because you can multitask. You can cook the beef and cook the curry sauce at the same time. And I learned this trick while working in a Thai restaurant where they were just churning out batches and batches of tender braised beef curry like multiple times a day. And I was like, that is genius. Why am I cutting this beef in chunks and taking 3 hours to cook it? You're going to need a little bit more liquid, and we're going to add just enough of the beef cooking liquid to barely submerge everything. This beef cooking liquid does have good flavor. I'm going to now simmer this for another 5 minutes to fully cook the potatoes and also to allow the beef to now mingle in this sauce. Okay, the potatoes are done. Whenever you're making curry, you always want to give it a taste because everybody's curry paste, especially if you buy, it's going to have different levels of saltiness and then how much you reduce this and so on and so forth. Many variables. Ooh, that's a good starting point. I do want it a little sweeter, so I'm going to add a little more palm sugar. And then, yeah, I think a little more tamarind just to brighten up. It shouldn't taste sour, but there should be some acidity to help balance the richness of this curry. Final taste test. Oh yes, yes, man, it's amazing how much just like a tiny little adjustment will do to just bring it to its happy place. finishing touch, the last thing you want to add is some halved cherry tomatoes, and that will act like pops of freshness to make sure that this curry is not too rich and heavy. In Thai cuisine, it's all about balance. You don't have to cook the tomatoes. By the time you're ready to serve this, by the time you get people ready, get your rice, get your bowls, it's gonna soften right into the curry perfectly. Okay, let's dish it up. Wow, look at this. And we did that in less than an hour, all in. Potatoes, some beef, some onions, some tomatoes, a little bit of everything in this bite. Oh no, there we go. Just want rice with sauce. That is a flavor that takes me home. And it honestly tastes like this is something that was stewing for a couple of hours, but because of thinly slicing the beef, you can achieve the same result in less time. It's rich, but it's got some bright acidity from the tomatoes and tamarind to help balance it out. And it's just bursting with herbs and spices. And that beef is so tender. It tastes like it was stewing for a couple of hours, but really because we're doing thin slices, we're choosing a cut that's not too thick. It only took us 20 minutes to get it there. So the recipe, as always, will be on hotthaikitchen.com. A special thanks to our Patreon supporters who help support the show. If you want to know what that's all about, how you can watch our video ad-free and get bonus content, you can check out Patreon. I'll put the link in the description below. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time for your next delicious Thai meal.